up and ready to leave Kaikoura. We've had a magical time. I have to say it's probably one of our favourite little towns in New Zealand. Just the fact that you can park up on the beach, have a little fire, of course if you've got a permit. Yeah, see all the dolphins.
Yeah, the marine
Just
life's
insane.
unreal. Fishing's unreal. Crayfish, it's just the best.
And the locals are legends too. Everyone around here, they're super friendly. Like the guy who offered us firewood. There's just so many cool people here. It's definitely a place that you have to visit and we are going to sadly miss.
Yeah, but we're heading down now. We're going to head about 3 hours south of here. We're heading to a little farm and we're going to get prepped up for something pretty special and exciting that's coming next. We can't wait.
All right.
Let's do it, eh?
Yeah.
Real close to me for the first time. I got you by my side, and darling, don't you know that you got the shaky knees? Gotta roll.
Alright, we cannot leave New Zealand without having a lamb dish, and this one makes my whole family happy. And it brings a lot of good friends around too. So where we are, we're going to spend the night with some lovely friends who are going to join us for dinner. So I figured we would make my Lamb Gyros. We've got a little spit that we just thread the meat onto. So I'm going to get that prepared for you shortly. But I'm going to start with the sauce, the marinade, which is really simple and you can adjust it to your own liking. It's literally a few spices. So I'm going to start with a tablespoon of paprika. I quite like it, so you can go heavy. Oregano, lots of salt and pepper. I prefer flaky salt in all my cooking. It just tastes so much better. Get that in there. Today we're going to use fresh rosemary because it's growing wildly in lots of places. So we're going to chop that up, just pluck off the leaves. You can run your fingers along. Do it again. And just run your knife. Nothing like lamb and rosemary. Best. It's best to get it as fine as possible because it is quite a woody herb. Although it's really delicious, you don't want lots of pieces of rosemary spiking you as you eat your gyros. And we're going to go crazy on the garlic. Good olive oil. Give that a good mix. Last thing is our acid, which we're using lemon. Just gives it a nice kick. Mix away, and we're just going to set that aside while I prepare the meat. Okay, when it comes to prepping your lamb, I like to use a lamb shoulder, bone out. It's heaps easier to cut so that you can thread it onto your spit easy. I will also show you that we're using discs to hold it all in place. We want about 1 to 1.5 centimeters per piece. It's a bit difficult to do, a bit tricky, but like you can kind of like fiddle around with it a bit. If you've got a lot of fat on your lamb, you can start to remove some of that because that will drip into your coals and it'll just burn away, but you know, a little bit's not that bad. This guy here, he's already opened up. Looks pretty good to me, and I'm just going to break it into 3. And that makes it just a little bit easier to, you can kind of already start to see where they're going to go, where you need to make the cuts, just so that they all evenly sit on the spit, and as they rotate, nothing's going to sort of flap around. take off some of this fat. Knife's been working hard the last few weeks. Needs a sharpen. We'll get there. That thickness there is almost perfect. You can use your plate as a measuring guide to sort of see how that's going to fit. I think that's going to probably be about right as they layer. You can imagine it. I like to keep them sort of this sort of thickness just so that when they're sitting in the marinade they completely get covered. These are going to marinate for around 3 hours. Overnight's great if you can, but for today we're just going to do probably 3 hours. So that's all going to go in well, and then I'm just going to run my knife through here, half that. We're going to get these interesting pieces. That's fine. Okay. Right, so that's all done. We're going to let that sit in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours. Again, if you've got time to do it overnight, then do so because it's extra delicious. Giving it lots of mixes just to make sure the marinade's nicely incorporated there. Now, this recipe is in my current cookbook, The Slow Road. This recipe is inspired by a good friend of mine, George, who is from Macedonia, and he is the king of gyros. And yeah, I basically went and stayed with them for a little while, and I decided to make him my version, which I'm pretty sure he was happy with. But you can see Georgie just here in the photo, and he's also the guy who inspired us to buy Izzy, our Kombi. Without them we wouldn't have a Kombi, and we wouldn't have done all these travels, and we wouldn't be sharing any of this with you now. So check them out, Hire Kombi, George and Elise. This beautiful piece of the Banks Peninsula where the wonderfuls are. This is Wendy. She has a beautiful fisherman's hut where we're going to stay for the next few days, and we're going to cook up our lamb here, which is going to be wonderful, and we're also going to go forage for some mussels and have a look around. Let's go. For about 3.5 hours. You can see the colours all changing and the marinade's like completely absorbed in. There's like no oil at the bottom, which is awesome. It smells like so good, so good. Anyway, I've started threading onto our skewer here, our spit, and I've kind of just been working with the rounder pieces first and then crisscrossing them as they get smaller. You can do it the opposite way and do like smaller pieces at one end, and then in the center have the fatter pieces. But I kind of like when we shave off, which I'll show you later, what those pieces kind of do. So just continue to thread, move in different directions. You can kind of feel where they need to go, press them in. You don't need to press too hard, it's just sort of getting them in the right spot, because we're going to put the other disc on, which is going to keep it all secure there for you, so you don't have to, there's no twine or anything like that with this. And I'm just going to keep going, and then once this is on and spinning away, we are going to make our flatbread and our tzatziki. If you've got any of these smaller pieces, I think I said earlier to you, you can just nip them off, but my kids actually like to eat them. They're like the first pieces that brown up on the charcoal, and they're actually their favourite bits because they kind of get like a little bit of a burnt edge to them. To Lockie, but to check your coals, we've just spread them out. It's nice and even. Hand 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds above. We want to get a really nice hot sear on the meat straight off the bat. That's going to get those like nice little black and crispy bits. Alright, our friends have arrived. We're going to sit here and watch our meat turn and make some tzatziki. Lockie's outside enjoying the fire with our friends. I'm going to make a quick and easy dip, and it's one that I think it's always better when it's made from scratch. It's tzatziki, a Greek dip, Greek yogurt, lemon, garlic, olive oil and lots of cucumber. There are different versions where you can pop in some dill or oregano, all that kind of stuff. You're welcome to do that, but for this dish there's so much flavour. All we need is something creamy to go on our bread. So the easiest and fastest way to do it is just to grate your cucumber directly into a bowl. Now you can use a strainer like a cheesecloth or even a tablecloth to try and squeeze it all out, but I find a bit of juice is all good, so I'll show you how that kind of happens. Let's just get grating. As you can see, there's some water. Cucumber has lots of water in it. This is a telegraph cucumber. You can use Lebanese if you like, but I just find it's just as easy to strain the juice out with your hands instead of having to wash up more dishes. Baking salt. Give that a little mix. Hey! Now we are using proper authentic Greek yogurt. Check your yogurt first because there are some that say they're Greek yogurt, but I think they're a bit of an imitation. You want that velvety, deep, delicious yogurt. So this is the guy. Now I'm just eyeballing this because I'm actually going to make flatbread from the rest of this container. So we've got 900 grams. I need 500 for my flatbread. So let's just steal a bit of off the top. Now we're going to go into our garlic, and I'm just going to basically grate it. If you've got a little grate, like a microplane, they work perfect for this. Garlic a good mix, and then we're just going to put in some lemon. Loads of lemon, and I've got olives over there for our Greek salad, and it's sitting in a whole heap of oil. I think I'm going to repurpose that and drizzle that over top. So let's mix it up. Let that guy sit while we make our flatbread. We are now going to make our flatbread, which is super simple and super easy. It is all-purpose flour, Greek yogurt, baking powder, and then you can put whatever herbs you like. Oregano, dried rosemary, any of that kind of stuff. I'm going to go with flavouring it today with fresh garlic and fresh rosemary. It's going to be delicious. So all you need to do is just literally bind all your ingredients together. Super quick. Yogurt. So we're just going to take a rough ball, plonk it onto a board. And then we're just going to put a damp tea towel over it and let it sit for at least a half an hour while we continue on with the rest of our food. So we'll be back. Guys, the kids are getting restless, they are hungry, so I'm just going to get myself sorted and tuck into this flatbread. We're just going to do it on a cast iron griller here. You can just put it directly over the coals, over the flame, it'll work no matter what. Lots of spring to it. Like I said, it's a rough flatbread, but it looks great. So I'm just going to do the kids' ones first and keep this guy here. And find a rolling pin. Yes! Perfect. So just going to make some little balls. These are for the kids, so not too big, not too small.